Okay. This may be working, so please let me know if you can hear my dogs barking. I have to make sure that you can hear me from back here, and you know, hopefully you can at least hear me this close. But let me know. It looks like this is going, so alright. Yes, he will not stop, but please let me know if you can hear me and see me. That's more important. And also, like, background music level, you know, that kind of stuff. I didn't really get a chance to listen back, so let me know if I should adjust it. Sorry for the doing it live, but so it goes. Okay. Welcome to the Kimchi stream. Music is a little loud. Okay, cool. Thank you. Let's just turn that down a touch so that my voice is louder than the music. Let me know how that sounds. Alright. So this time I was maybe smart, hopefully, and I have a camera that I can move around. So we have some stuff all set for us, but more importantly is all the stuff going on over here. So I'm gonna have to find a place to set up over there, just so that we can check some of that stuff out. Music is a tiny bit louder than my voice. That's not good. Yeah, I was checking the levels on this microphone earlier, and it seems a little quiet in general. So let me see if I can. Oh wait, the background music is just. Did I completely shut it off? Ooh. Oh no, it was good, and I touched it. Not. Yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of a delay here, but probably. So sorry. But I'm seeing like 0 playback of the background music right now. There we go. Alright, I see just the tiniest amount of background music, so hopefully that's good. We're going to get started. You can let me know again next time whether it's too loud. Okay, so I was rushing before the stream started to export out pre-recorded video of the beginning part of this, because as you can see, maybe not, I've already started this process. This process started this morning with the cabbages, but even before that, I had to go and actually get the cabbages out of the ground, along with some other vegetables. So let me see if I can switch to that and if it's gonna work, if I've got it all ready to go. Boop. Boop. And there it is. Aha! Okay, there I am. So that's this morning. There shouldn't be any audio because I'm just going to talk over it anyways. But yeah, that's this big ol' blue bowl. Sped up some of the boring parts here, but there's my cabbage. A little bit late pulling it out of the ground this year. I had a lot going on, but yeah, we managed to get it out along with a couple of other things. I tried my best to grow as much of the stuff that I need for my yearly kimchi as possible. So at least we've got the cabbage here, and then as you'll see in a little bit, I've also pulled out of my garden the carrots and also these enormous green onions. And well, I'll leave the last part as a surprise. So right now I'm twisting the cabbages out of the ground, just twist until they pop right out. And then I'm just going to clean off all those brown outer leaves. Just going to get rid of those and throw them directly in the compost there. While this video is playing, I'm going to actually attempt to get started on just some veggie prep here. So I'll let you know what's going on. Nothing too crazy, but I do need to find a place to move these. Actually, while that's happening, I am going to flip these one last time. So over the course of the last couple hours, I have been flipping these, kind of massaging them a little after they were salted, and you'll see that part coming up in a little bit. But after they were salted, that salt draws out the moisture, and we're trying to soften this out. There's lots of, I'll show how much liquid there is once we take those out. But right now I'm just going to flip them all over one last time. Give them a little bit of a massage here. Alright, what part am I at? Alright, pulling the carrots out of the ground. The playback on my end isn't great, so let me know if this is really choppy or if I'm choppy. I'm going to be choppy later, but as in chopping, get it? Chopping vegetables? Sorry. Alright. Last turn over there. I don't know if you can see how much liquid is in this from when I that is all coming out of the cabbages. No added water here. So these were, as you can see, these were quite hefty. Oh, I think we just missed. There it is. That was the surprise there. So I did attempt to grow the Korean radish, and this is all I got. So I did pick one up from the store. They're supposed to look like this, you know, but we'll throw it in there anyways. All right, let's see here. What's going on? I'm bringing all the stuff in now. I was gonna hose it all off outside, and then I realized I'd already shut off all of my my water valves, so we get to bring it all inside and get the sink nice and dirty. There we go. Don't mind me. Okay, washing off those vegetables. Alright, I'm going to move these out of the way so we can get started. I'm going to move them somewhere. This is probably fine. Okay. First things I'm going to chop are actually things that don't really need to be chopped in any special kind of way, because they are just all going to be pureed. Got that over there. So yeah, these are going to be going into the paste as part of the paste, right? There's a couple components to this, right? We've got the cabbage. We've got a couple of vegetables that are going to go in small pieces but whole, right? So the radish, the carrots, the green onions, and then these, which we'll talk about when we use them. And the rest of this stuff is for a pureed paste that obviously includes the red peppers. That gives it the classic traditional red color. Hello, Lyrebird XYZ. Welcome. I'm sorry if I don't recognize your handle from any of the usual places, the Discord or the Twitter or the Instagram, but hello and welcome. Let me know if I'm supposed to, if I know you from one of those places. Okay, so let's chop this stuff up, and let's start with the onion. Good old onion. Alright, what part am I at yet? Alright, so I've just cleaned off the cabbage there. Here I am taking off, I'm just cleaning up the root end of it, so it's, well, nice and clean there. After you ripped off all of the outer leaves. I'm just chopping this onion basically into just chunks here. Like I said, we're just going to throw it into the food processor. Hey, Valerie. Thanks for joining us. I kind of wish, so if any of you are familiar with Jack's live streams that she does every weekend, today, Jack, my wife, and she also did the branding and all the artwork that you see for Crock of Time everywhere. Anyways, she has a little prompt that she can show in in the comment area. So I can't, or at least I don't think I can, for YouTube. So yeah, let me know if you're fermenting anything recently. If you make kimchi, if you have made it, if you like it, if you don't, if you have questions about it, if you have heard some strange, gross things about it, let me know. I will try to address anything that I can. I'm no expert necessarily, but I like making it. I think this is my fourth, I don't know, it could be possibly 5 years that I have been making kimchi annually. Oh, I'm missing the cutting here. So this is an important part of the sort of traditional way that kimchi is made. So yeah, you can see that I did just one cut down the middle from the base, just cut down about almost halfway or so, and then you just kind of grab it and tear it apart. You can kind of imagine like you're tearing a phone book apart. It's very satisfying, honestly. And you do that again so that you have quarters, basically, and they're attached still by the core. The core is still like on the end there. So that's how these are all prepared. That's how they're in these big chunks. And they're going to ferment that way and be generally stored that way. Let me grab this here. I'm just going to start throwing this stuff in. I do have a recipe that I generally follow. I don't have one up on my site yet. I don't have one on crockoftime.com. But hopefully after this, maybe I can write one up. Although I'm not really going to be taking pictures during it, so I don't know. Maybe I'll try. But we got about 2 hours here or so. Then I'm going to be around. Then I got to jump off anyways. Since, like I said, Jack is also streaming today. So if you are interested in the artwork that she does, I don't have a link, but maybe Jack can drop one in the comments if she likes. Valerie said that just run out of their last batch. She makes smaller batches and eats it for a month and makes some more. Yeah, I do. I mean, so I did two I do 2 heads of Napa cabbage, and generally that's pretty much enough for me and the only other person in my household. And I even still have, I don't know, I still have a lot from last year, but I, give it away to friends who like it. Yeah, that ends up being enough for us. And after it, oh, I forgot to bring my crock up here, so I'll have to do that. I'll have to run down at some point and grab it. But after it ferments for a good, I like to let it go for about a month or so, at least. And after that, I pack it into plastic tubs and stick it in the fridge and last all year, pretty much, until I'm ready to make the next ones. All right, just roughly quartering the onion. I'm not using very specific measurements, especially not today. I do have kind of specific ones. They're based on Mangchi's recipe. If you don't know who Mangchi is, haven't seen any of her videos, I highly recommend them. They're going to be much better than mine. She's a bit more of a authority on the subject, but yeah, she's basically why I started doing all this more interesting fermentation at home. But I never thought before that was something that you did at home. You know what I mean? Like kimchi, you buy it at the store. Soy sauce, you buy it at the store. Rice wine, you buy it at the store, right? Her videos really opened my eyes to the fact that no, not necessarily. So okay, here we go. This part, I'm just weighing the amount of cabbage that I have to start with. It was like almost 6 kilograms of cabbage just from two cabbages. So what I do is I roughly take 5% of the weight of the cabbages in salt. You don't necessarily have to measure it out. Just use enough salt to sprinkle between all the leaves like you saw happen in there. And then, once it's all sprinkled in and you let them sit for a couple hours, generally it gets rinsed off and you retain whatever salt that it happened to absorb. I don't know. I half-heartedly rinse it a little bit. We'll see when we get there. But because there's so many other vegetables and stuff going in, and I tend to like to let it go for quite a long time. So in that case, more salt kind of just helps it last longer. All right, I'm just gonna peel these. If I can find my peeler, I'll use this one. Oh, Valerie just finished some sugar pumpkin shikoji. Nice. And red Fresno yogurt hot sauce. Dang, is that the stuff from the Koji Alchemy? Yogurt hot sauce. Man, I still have not tried that. I am a hot sauce fiend. I'm making hot sauce all the time. But I have not done the yogurt Koji hot sauce. Koji Alchemy. Shame on me, right? Alright, there we go. I'm just going to toss that in there. Come on out. Hello, 0404 fighter. Welcome. Let me know if you are... Whoops, what am I doing? Tossing that in there. Let me know if you're from the Discord or from Twitter or Instagram or wherever I may or may not know you. Or if you just dropped in because you saw a weird live stream about kimchi on YouTube. Everybody's telling me if they're fermenting anything at home right now, if they like kimchi, if they don't like kimchi, if they've heard certain weird rumors about how it's made. Hopefully I can dispel some of that today. Oh, and also for anybody just joining us, I've got a pre-recorded video from this morning still going, showing the process that started this morning where I'm salting the cabbages, because those need to sit for a couple hours. In this case, they've only really been going for two or 3 hours. Some people like to do it overnight. I think 2 or 3 hours is fine usually for me. But yeah, they will shed a lot of water in just the first couple hours, and that's really what you're looking for. If you missed the beginning and you were hoping to learn how to make kimchi from this live stream, then check out the replay, or I think you should be able to scrub back. But right now, I didn't even say what I'm doing here. I'm peeling an Asian pear. Those big round pears that you see. They're in most grocery stores, I think, nowadays. But you'll see at any Asian grocery store. I'm trying to do this as traditionally as I can because I like the taste of the traditional kimchi, and a lot of the stuff that it's made from I can grow myself in this climate of the Midwest in the US. So there we go. So I've got onions in here, I've got pears in here. I'm also going to throw some ginger. I'd say for a single head of cabbage, if it's on the small side, you only really need like an onion and half a pear. With the amount of cabbage I ended up with, maybe I could have used another pear, but oh well. That's what's happening. So let's see if I'm missing any comments. Yes. Hello. Oh, yes, you're from the Discord. Nice. Welcome. Welcome. So yeah, and then for each cabbage, I usually do like about, a thumb, right? A thumb of ginger, a big chunk of it. I'm probably gonna like almost quadruple everything today because these cabbages are so huge. And if I have leftover paste, I got all this to work with as well, so we can make some radish kimchi. Alright, I'm just gonna peel the ginger this way. Oh, look, the thing is all done. I have waved and signed off. So now we are at the present. So let me switch back here. There we go. So now hopefully we can see what's going on here. I am just peeling this ginger. I'm going to use, I'm going to use like that much or so for each head of cabbage. Oh, I also I knew I was forgetting something else. My garlic is all downstairs. I'm gonna have to go grab a bunch of that at some point. I usually do about a head of garlic for each cabbage, but I might do 3 heads or maybe 4 for this batch. I would love to hear if anybody else has a sort of yearly or annual fermentation tradition, or if you don't, if you know if your parents or grandparents did. Always love to hear about that kind of stuff. I'm just crushing the ginger a bit, tossing it in. I think I'm going to use this whole thing. I'm going to use this whole thing. And last but not least, this little bit. It's been a while since I tried to do the last live stream. Apologies that it's been all kind of over the place. Trying this, trying that. I wanted to try Discord for certain reasons, but then there's no record of it happening, so that kind of stinks. So I don't know. And I can't get into the Twitch vibe. I know I say this every time, but I don't know. Something about that place just disturbs me, and I don't really want this kind of stuff to be like, like Twitch. I don't know how else to say it. So that's why I settled on YouTube. So here we are. Okay, I need to go grab some garlic. It's all hanging up downstairs, so go on a little journey. So Valerie's her husband's father and her father both made kraut. Nice. Excuse me. It's been a while since I've talked a lot apparently. So okay, there's my garlic behind me. just kind of hanging out up there. Grab a couple heads. Did I position that well? There. 2, 3. I think I have one upstairs. I'll bring 3 up. Oh dear. Okay. We got it. We're good. Of course, these are really dirty, so I need to set them down somewhere. Let's try to do this without knocking my camera off. There we go. Okay. Okay, yeah. So it's funny, yeah. Sauerkraut. I love it too. I've got some actually, very, very tiny batch sitting here. It's interesting how in the popular culture, at least when I was a kid, the common refrain about kimchi was, it's buried in the ground, it's gross, right? And yet, the actual process of fermenting kimchi, it's a cabbage, lacto-fermentation, right, of cabbage mainly. And while sauerkraut still, has its own reputation these days, I guess, it's reemerging, of course, but, as being a stinky fermentation, the Korean cabbage ferment, just because it has something to do with being buried in the ground, right? So, but if anyone's bothered to look into what that actually means, because when you're a kid you think, oh, it's buried in the ground, oh, that means they literally put the cabbage in dirt and then they dig it out. How do you eat that, right? Well, they don't. Oh, I should have grabbed my ongi while I was downstairs. We'll grab it later. But also, I should have just bought the giant pack of pre-peeled garlic from the Asian grocery store, but I didn't. So I have to peel a lot of garlic here. Maybe I'll use the 2 bowls method today and see how that works out. Um, but yeah, so what's up with the burying? Well, they have earthenware pots, ongi, and they're not necessarily buried all the way in the ground, right? They're not like, you don't dig a big hole, put the pot in the ground, and then cover it with dirt. That's not even how it works. So what's up with, what do they mean burying in the ground? Well, generally speaking, they, and we're talking about just any time pre-refrigeration. In the Western world, we have what we call root cellars, which is where all of our pickles and root vegetables would be stored for the next season, the next planting season, for the next year to overwinter, right? The root cellar being a cellar, right? Because it's cooler, and without refrigeration, without air conditioning, the temperature swings a lot less drastically, right? So with kimchi pots, they would just be kind of placed in the ground, right? So you'd still see the tops of them. They're not even like fully buried or anything, just partially. So there's no dirt touching the food or anything like that. They're covered. There's no bugs or animals getting in. It's not like that. It's just a normal lacto ferment. All right, I've peeled 3 heads of garlic here. I'd say that, I mean, these cloves are pretty hefty, right? Nice big cloves, so I think those would probably be good. Let's try the 2-bowl method, shall we? Oh, maybe I should have started elsewhere. I should have started with the porridge. That's all right. Okay, here we go. There's the garlic in a bowl, and another bowl. Let's see. Kind of. Can you even see that? Try some more. Alright, that's about as good as that's gonna get, huh? And just tilt this down a little bit. Mostly. Not at all. It worked partially. Anybody else tried that before and had success? I don't know. I've tried it like once before. It sort of kind of works. Still kind of a pain though, huh? Oh my gosh. Alright, I'm going to come back to this because I need to start on the porridge. The porridge is a very important piece for making a paste, the pepper paste. And the porridge is very simply rice porridge. Right, so I've got this stuff, sweet rice flour. Give me one sec while I plug this in. So that it doesn't die in the middle of the stream. Alright, there we go. Go there. Come on, go in there. Okay. Alright. Now, got all this stuff here. The only thing that we need to worry about right now is the sweet rice flour. I've also got brown sugar. Garlic shaking ASMR. Fragnum Opus says he wants to try it. Did I also mention, I don't know if you saw it during the title card, Fragnum Opus is responsible for making all the music that you may or may not be able to hear in the background. So go check out his stuff on YouTube and elsewhere, Bandcamp, etc. Okay, I need a cup measure. I need a tablespoon measure. And don't mind me while I check my, I think it's 2 tablespoons of rice flour. And let's see here, a cup of water. Oh, okay, 1 tablespoon of each per cup of water. So it's not a heck of a lot of rice flour. But I'm going to do 4. Like I said, I'm going to try to increase this recipe by 4. So I'm going to do 4 cups of water, 4 tablespoons of the rice flour. I'm just about at the end of this box. One. You don't have to have this mochiko specifically, any glutinous rice flour or sweet rice flour. Works just fine. 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And then we'll do, 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. One, 2, 3, and almost at the bottom of the bag here. 4-ish. 4-ish. There we go. There's probably nothing in there. Okay. Let's put some of this stuff away. And now I'm just going to fill it with 4 cups of water. I don't know if you can see from there. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay. It's quite a lot more than normally, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's turn this on. Make sure I don't turn on the wrong burner. Go. Some kind of spoon over here. Or whisk. Whisk. This usually doesn't take very long, but I'm usually not doing this much, so this needs to get basically up to a boil, and it should thicken. Turn that up. While I'm here, we'll also check out some of these other ingredients. Red pepper, gochugaru, Korean red pepper. I do also grow Korean red peppers, but I'm putting pretty much all of my peppers into hot sauce, so I did not dry any and try to make gochugaru myself. Easy enough to pick that up at the store. Sesame seeds, toasted sesame seeds, pre-toasted. What are you gonna do? fish sauce and oyster sauce. So this is about as close as I can get to putting things like actual oysters or shrimp paste in, but these were fine. And I also have, not that this is particularly traditional, but this is Gimjang, which is soup soy sauce, which comes from, it's the liquid remaining after making doenjang, which I've also made several years in a row. So I usually like to put a splash of that in too. But we do need to get this thickened, heated up, thickened, and then let it cool down before we start putting all the rest of the stuff in it, right? Because this is a ferment, and for a ferment, you need the bacteria to still be alive. So we can't kill it off with a super hot paste. We don't want to. Okay, so while that's heating up and I'm occasionally whisking, finish peeling this garlic. Which I'm just going to do like this. There we go. I'll just peel it here. Peeling. You know, next time we do a live stream, I need to maybe pre-prepare some more of this stuff in advance. It's been a hectic week and weekend, so you get to see pretty much all of it. But I'm glad some folks decided to come and hang out. I've never quite had that traditional Gimjang experience, but sometimes I feel like it would be nice just to have a big old communal get together, chop a whole bunch of vegetables, cook a whole bunch of porridge, make a whole bunch of paste. I mean, it sounds like a good time to me. I don't know. I will settle for live streaming it. How about that? Oh man, why didn't I buy that pre-peeled garlic? Just because I wanted to grow as much of the ingredients as possible, that's why. If I was measuring the temperature, I bet that it would start thickening at the magic 65 degrees Celsius. Has anybody heard of the what is the book now? I can't recall the name of the book. I think by a Taiwanese woman, if I'm not mistaken. I think she's called or I don't know if she's necessarily called, but I think the book or the method is called the Bread Doctor, and it's about the Tanzong method, the method of creating basically a porridge from your grain, from your flour, before letting it cool and putting it into bread, and it makes for that wonderful texture fluffiness of, you know, classic like milk bread and stuff like that. But yeah, I think there's a specific texture that it kind of gelatinizes that. And we're getting there now. It is starting to thicken. But I'm not like worried about hitting that exactly and then backing off. I'm just gonna let it do its thing here. This is, to me, this is supposed to be one of those ferments that you can just kind of wing a little bit. In terms of the amounts, even, you know, the salt, as long as you use plenty of it, you don't necessarily have to measure it. I like to, just because I like to try to be as safe as possible, and I want it to last, of course. A little bit more stir in here. I might have to like do a quick cool down of this stuff, since my plan was to do it first and I kind of forgot. Okay, so this is getting to a point where it's starting to like potentially bubble up. I'm going to turn it off now. Do a bit more stirring here. Take it off the heat. There we go. Almost done with the garlic, maybe. Okay. Oh my gosh, there's more in here. I feel like I do need to start another big batch of sauerkraut, because, I mean, I know some people that like, you know, they try to make sure that they're only doing like one month or so of those kind of ferments, but man, I really like it when that stuff gets forgotten in the back of the fridge. There's something about sauerkraut in particular that just, I really dig when it's that aged for like a year or more. I think I accidentally left some sauerkraut in the back of the fridge for 2 years unopened, and I discovered it, and it was didn't last very long after that because it was really good. Okay, so we've finally peeled all of our garlic. This is very full. Hopefully you can handle all of that, but I'm just going to puree it all now. You have to plug it in. Let's see. Here we go. There we go. There's our paste vegetables. Our aromatics, basically. Although, you know, the pear, I don't know, is that an aromatic? No idea. Source of extra sugars, certainly, and probably some kind of pectins, I guess. I mean, it's not like we're heating it, so I don't know if that has an impact. Okay, so At this point is when I'm going to start chopping the rest of the vegetables. We have to kind of matchstick. Yeah, let's bring this over there first. Sure. Then we'll talk about it. Okay. Yoop. Here we go. I'm glad at least Valerie also thinks that the Gimjang would be fun. Okay, so we have big cutting board. Cabbage is last. We don't need to cut that anymore. I'm going to start with, how about I start with the carrots? A whole bunch of carrots from the garden. I'm going to roughly peel these. I don't think peeling is super necessary, but we'll give them a quick peel. Get off any last remaining dirt if we're scared of that. A little bit of dirt left is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of the activating element, isn't it? It's those active microbes that are going to do all the work, right? But the only condition that we're going to provide that's different from nature and thus, stop it from rotting is the lack of oxygen. Although kimchi is kind of unique, at least in the way that it is generally fermented, basically not open, but not water sealed, certainly not in any sort of airlock generally. The amount of salt and the amount of red pepper kind of helps prevent any surface mold and stuff like that from happening. Oh, this one's going to be a pain. Okay. Gonna be a pain to chop, but that's alright. Offhand, I don't know. Are there other ferments that you folks have done that are more involved than kimchi? I feel like, I don't know. Maybe some of the miso ferments might feel similarly involved, but they generally don't. They generally don't involve just the sheer number of ingredients, that's for sure. So that's kind of a unique aspect to me, at least of the ferments that I do regularly. I mean, the only one that comes kind of close is like my Szechuan style pickles. But that's just chopping up a bunch of vegetables and putting it in a brine. So, I don't know. I feel like that's relatively straightforward too. Although the brine itself has some particulars. Not that it's like a very, very specific list of ingredients, but usually involving a little bit of, like rice wine and some sugar. Obviously, the Szechuan peppercorns. Okay, we have these relatively clean. Alright, I'm going to try mac cheese method. We're going to chop off the bottom to have a nice flat surface. And we're going to do these nice big pieces, because then we'll matchstick them. There's going to be a lot of matchsticks. I'll just shove that in here. Probably should have cut them on the smaller side, but let's just do, yeah, let's just chop these in half. There we go. Oh boy, I'm going to need a big old bowl, aren't I? This is a problem because the bowls are currently occupied, but let's just, actually I can throw the rest of these in here. Alright, let's take you out. Actually, I can show you. I can show you how much liquid is left in here. There we go. I don't know how clear that picture is, but quite a bit. I'm just going to dump it back in while it continues there. Because I need a big bowl for the paste, so everything's just going to go in here. Okay, 1 carrot down. Oh boy. 1 carrot down. Oops, I forgot to make us a little flat surface. Shame on me. If I wasn't feeling the pressure of being at least somewhat entertaining, I would say that the chopping is my favorite part. Anybody else have a favorite have a favorite part of I don't know. It doesn't have to be the kimchi fermentation. I mean, like, for sauerkraut, also, like, shredding the cabbage is just cathartic, really. I like to do it with a nice sharp knife and just do it as fine as possible. And that's, there we go. That's always enjoyable. Let's do this big guy. Valerie says ingredient prep, definitely the most labor intensive part of the ferments that she does. Yeah. It's a nice time to practice your knife skills, though. My matchstick, not bad. I mean, I'm no chef, but it does its job. Let's get this big guy. Oh, come on. Slip and sliding around here. Stay there. Stay there. Missed a couple. Oh boy. If anybody has any questions, I mean, I don't know, again, if I have any sort of expertise to really offer, but I did just, I recently attended Fermentation 2021, the big, I don't know, fermentation industry conference. You know, kind of a bit of an outsider there because it was mostly geared towards businesses doing fermentation stuff. And I straddle this weird line of like, it's my hobby, but also I'm trying to like, I don't know, what's the right word? Raise awareness or something about fermenting at home. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll call it business, but it certainly isn't yet. But anyways, if anybody has any questions about that conference, let me know. Happy to talk about it. I have 3 blog posts on the site, crockoftime.com. I'll kind of give a general description or overview or takeaways from the sessions that I attended. There were some other more specific sessions that really didn't seem like they were going to be relevant to me, but I do have access to the replays too. I could always go back. Nick says knife prep is definitely my favorite. I busted out the thick knife yesterday for the first time. It was beautiful. Yes, so Nick recently got married. Very recently, like last week. And one of our gifts to Nick was a knife like this. Jack, my wife, inherited this from her grandparents. But yeah, it's not a cleaver. It's not for, chopping meat. This is for normal knife stuff, and I do love it. I don't know why I didn't bring it out today. Because it's very loud is why. Because when you chop with this, it has this nice heft and momentum to it. I'll just do this briefly. But it's a bit louder because it's heavier. But it's very enjoyable and super, easy pickup of stuff too. But I'll set that aside for now. I'll keep using this one. Which, again, not not selling or anything, but I do really like this knife. It's a Misen? I don't know. I guess Misen from mise en place, but they are not super expensive. I don't remember how much, but you know, it's kind of the mid-range of because knives can get really ridiculously expensive for, I don't know, just designer knives. I don't know, if you're in the, you know, if you're in the industry as a chef or something and you use, I don't know, I'm using this almost every day as a home cook, so maybe I could make that argument, but need something utilitarian. But also, I do definitely need to sharpen it, so that's about as much as I'm going to get off of that. Big boys here. Okay, got a heck of a lot of carrot. Got that much carrot. Set these aside for now and we'll move on. Radish time. Let me check this here. It's a little bit hot. That's alright. And my tiny radish. Oh, okay. There's a picture for you. Whatever. Yes, I'm going to toss in the tiny radish because I worked very hard to grow this tiny radish. So it is definitely going in. I just recently saw, I don't know if it was a live stream or just a recording, Instagram video from You Eating, YOO Eating, EATING, and she was recently on another sort of mini conference type thing for, I forget what the name of it is, some sort of Korean cultural heritage group that does occasional live streams. It happened like kind of soon after KojiCon did. I recall that much. But she did a stream about making, I think it was gochujang. But anyways, the Instagram stream, she was making kimchi, and she actually put nice big thick chunks of radish in alongside, of course, the matchstick radish. So basically she combined the I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong, the kakdugi and the kimchi all in one. The kakdugi being the radish kimchi, which is basically the same thing, just cubed radish with the paste that we're going to make. But today, yeah, maybe I'll let this guy be the chunks. Some chunks in here. Let's see here. How do I want to do this? I'll do this. And then I'll just do these little, how's that look? Why not? Some surprise. Big old radish. Okay, this guy, we only need, I usually take like about a centimeter or maybe a little bit more of kind of a cross section for each cabbage. I don't know, we'll take a little bit more this time. Yeah, so I'd usually do, well, if it's the smaller part, like, you know, if it's here, I'd be like, not quite, maybe it's like 3/4 of an inch or so. We're going to do 1, 2, probably this much. this much, maybe a little bit more. I just keep inching the knife up further. There we go. Nice big chunk of radish. And I'm not going to be, you know, the fancy knife person that does that. I'm just gonna peel it with the peeler. Come on. Come on. Peel. Why is my... Oh, it's charging. Okay. I was going to say my screen keeps going dark because I thought maybe it wasn't charging. We're good. It is charging. Okay. There we go. Move this into the compost. Plenty of this stuff, I mean, maybe I shouldn't be saying because I'm not making stock often, but a lot of people will save all these scraps and make stock out of it. That is a great option. I am just growing the garden. I need a lot of compost anyways, so it's going back in some way or another. Right? Okay, so I've got these nice big discs. I'm going to chop it in half, and then I'm going to cut a bunch of slices. You can matchstick them, you can do slices, you can do whatever the heck you want. It's your kimchi, but I'm going to do these nice thin slices. Go. There's a really amazing vinegar pickle that we like to make that is also Korean, where we slice them like this, and it's soy sauce and rice vinegar. Really good. Throw some carrots in there, throw some green onion or whatever, but the star of the show is the radish. That's some good stuff. Okay. I think I'll do some matchsticks out of this one. I'm still going to do the same thing. Unfortunately, since they didn't all stay in place, it's going to be messy matchsticks, but I don't care that much. We'll see what happens. Mostly matchsticks. And maybe for the last one we'll do some more larger chunks to make it interesting. How do I want to do the chunks? Usually I would cube it. No, I'll just matchstick the rest of it. No, I need some chunks. All right, let's do this, and then we will, do some little chunks. Whatever. Basically, gotta do like how I would do for the radish kimchi. There we go. Just throwing that in there. Thank you. I don't recall her name, but thank you, You Eating, for that tip. That's going to be great. Now I also have this. This is garlic chives. I did also grow these, but they're at this point now, at this time of year, where they're gone to bloom. So I picked these up from the store. But different from, you could use chives like French style chives, but these are interesting because they have like flat leaves, So that's kind of how you can tell them apart. But also you could just use a whole bunch of green onion if you want. I think that's what Kimchi says in her video, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna do like I'm gonna do like this much and see how far that gets us. I'm just gonna chop off the ends here and then make these into like 2-inch lengths or so. And there we go. So that's it for that. Of course, I'm dropping it on the floor. Okay. May or may not put some more in. We'll see. And then, of course, last but not least, this is the ingredient that I had to go out to the store yesterday to get. This is, well, I can't say with confidence that this is Minari, but it was labeled as watercress, which is what Minari is, and it was at the Asian market. So I am hoping that this is Minari. But either way, watercress, water dropwort, it's an essential traditional ingredient, but if you don't have it, it'll still be good kimchi. This has a mild kind of... Here, let's do it. Let's do a live taste test here. It's an herby, almost peppery. It's very unique. Kind of hints of maybe celery. Good stuff. All right, I'm just gonna roughly chop this again into like kind of inch or so long pieces. I'll just leave the ends in there. Why not? Throw all that in. I got 2 bundles because I didn't know how much I would need. This is already filling up my bowl here, but drop it more on the floor. I still have not chopped the green onion. Oh man, what time is it? 1:20. Okay, we still got... I figured I'd go for about 2 hours, so we're doing pretty good on time. How you feeling? Oh, Valerie says she can't grow radish or carrot here in her woodsy garden world. Well, that sounds magical. But kind of sad if you can't grow any carrots or radishes. But you can buy them from the store, or most people do. Alright, I'm just going to give these a nice... I'm going to keep these like little medallions because I like that. That's what I like. That's what I'm doing. You can't stop me. And then for the rest of this, you can also do the long pieces. Probably works better with like normal, like the sort of green onion you find at a standard American grocery store. This stuff is not the standard green onion in America. This is Japanese green onion that I grow. So they're a little thick for this purpose. They're pretty sturdy too. So I'm just gonna kind of chop them into small pieces. That's what I'm gonna do. this big boy. It's gonna be tasty in a couple months. Oh man, these are going everywhere. They're just like little tiny wheels that roll right off once you're done cutting it. Oh, Nick says the stream is making him hungry. I am pretty hungry too. I forgot to have a snack. I was going to bring out some kimchi anyways, so that I don't forget to do a little bit of a back slop. Just to seed next year's batch with some good kimchi vibes. There you go. There we go. Now I won't forget. There is my last year's batch. I also prefer, if you couldn't tell, my kimchi well fermented. So I did also just do a big batch of kimchi soup, trying to use some of it up before making this next batch and needing to store it somewhere. Let's see, which bowl should I use? How about this one? It's very cute. Hope you don't mind. I have a little snack. We'll have a little bit more. Whoops. Stay here. Alright. Now we're cooking, but we're not cooking. These are going to roll everywhere. Alright, these chunky boys, or maybe they're ladies, chunky ladies. Not everything can be a chunky boy. There we go. Oof. Oh, we got most of that green onion in there. Since I am running out of room, might have to hold up. Okay, let me see if my porridge has cooled down anymore. Still too hot. Alright, what I'm going to do is put it in an ice bath. Because I have no choice. I need to put the paste together. So, got a little bit of green onion left here. Some ice in this. Sorry. That's nice. We got a bath. Got a nice bath. We're talking about second breakfast, apparently. My second breakfast is kimchi. Okay, so I'm just dunking this in a nice cold ice water bath to rapidly bring the temperature down. You wouldn't necessarily need to do this. You can just let it cool and be a nice lazy day, but I've got a time limit here, so self-imposed, but regardless. Still too hot. Every time I make this stuff, I just want to make some actual rice porridge to just eat. Sweet rice porridge. There was actually, speaking of rice porridge, there was discussion at the Fermentation 2021 conference. There was a very specific session, a panel discussion between Mara King and I cannot recall the name of the woman that wrote that really amazing article called Lost in the Brine. I can't even remember what paper or magazine it was in, but if you search Lost in the Brine, you'll find that article. Just a kind of, just talking about how whitewashed some of these, traditional, very culturally significant ferments have kind of been, what am I trying to say? Exploited by the West, by white people in general. I don't know. Here I am doing a stream about kimchi, but I hope that I'm doing it at least respectfully, acknowledging its traditional roots, attempting to pay respect to the actual ingredients involved. But I just really love it, and I'm not here to sell it as some other thing to attach it to some idea of Eastern medicine nonsense or even Western probiotic stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, I learned some interesting things about the science of fermentation and health at the conference as well, which was particularly eye-opening because I'm generally skeptical about health claims, but there were some very interesting studies, even if they were kind of general and broad and not. Most studies are trying to find what microbes do what, and whether that's good or bad for people or specific conditions or whatever. And that's where the term probiotic comes from. It's very specifically tied to specific microbes that do specific things. But there were some general studies just about intervention studies of eating fermented foods, any fermented food, not dictated specific foods, and some serious results with the gut health and immune system responses. So while other scientists at the conference argued that that's not specific enough to really tell us much, there's a measurable impact that eating fermented foods, especially live cultured, wild fermented foods, they do have an impact on our health in some way, demonstrably. So take that as you will. Anyways, this has cooled down enough so that it is slightly warm, but not hot, and that is good enough. So, thank you, Nick Fragnum Opus. Min-chan wrote the article. That's right. Okay, now this is the hard part, and I'm wondering if I need to transfer the kimchi out of that bowl and use the big blue bowl instead of this, because I need to mix together all of this, all of the pureed vegetables. Yeah, I'm going to try to transfer them. Oh dear, how am I going to do this? Well, first of all, I need to drain... perfect. I need to drain the kimchi anyways. So let's come back over here, get this stuff out. So, I have this big ol'... rinse that out. Drying that off, getting it wet again. Okay, so we don't really need this brine. It's not like it's really, fermenting yet or anything, so it's not like you're going to get any health benefits from drinking it. I think some people might like the taste. I don't know. Cabbage, this is all water coming out from the cabbage, so it is salty cabbage juice, but probably too salty. So we are just going to get all of these out, and I just want to see how much water we have left over. Although some of it's coming with, but I should actually be doing this. Oops, squeezing the excess water out. But also, yeah, I'm not going to rinse these. I'm going to just let them be as salty as they are. And that's what I'm going to do. But generally it's rinsed at this stage to get rid of excess salt. But I'm putting in a lot of excess stuff in there without salt, so... Yes, Valerie, you've put it very well. So, she said, I appreciate that. We love it in our house. I assume you mean kimchi. But my focus is that I want to preserve what I grow in a nutritionally dense, flavor-packed way. And that is a really, really great way, I think, of getting it. That's why I'm doing this stuff. But I'm doing it, again, with stuff that I'm growing at home. Now, of course, I am growing the traditional ingredients. I even tried growing Minari, but I don't really have the right conditions for that to thrive. It needs a really wet environment. Some parts of my yard are like that, but it's more like in the middle of the yard and not really a place where I can plant something. But so yeah, I don't know. I just love food, and I love food that comes from other cultures that still have a tradition of fermentation and fermenting things at home. I mean, it's dying out even in Korea. This practice of making kimchi and other things, and it's also being industrialized to a degree, but I don't know. I think that some part of it will continue living on. I hope. And I hope that's okay that it continues living on even other places that aren't Korea. Alright, so I have all of this cabbage juice left. I have to now, right? I have to do a little, right? Cheers. Mm. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm. Mm. Very salty. Very salty. Ugh. Don't do that. Would not recommend. Okay, so there we go. I am going to use this bowl to mix the paste. Oops, sorry, I'm missing my reaction here. Oh my god, this bowl is wider, but it's also not as deep, so I don't know if it's made much of a difference, but I think wider is just going to be better anyways. I hope. Valerie says, if it needs swamp, I have that next to the compost heap most of the year. Yes, it's the home preservation to keep the tradition alive is important. Deindustrializing food systems. Yeah, heck yeah. That's the spirit. Okay. We have the pureed onions, garlic, and Asian pear. So that's going in. We have the rice porridge, which is just mostly water, but it's some flour and some brown sugar. I'm not going to pour all of this in. I'm going to reserve some because we might not need all of that. I think I've got like half of it in there. We'll see how that is. Okay, now we add all the good stuff. I mean, not that this isn't good stuff. So before I forget, I am going to put a little bit of juice from last year's kimchi, and I'm literally just going to stick my hand in here and squeeze, and there it goes. So a little bit of continuation in that in that colony of bacteria. Okay, so let's see, how much do I need of all the rest of this stuff? And maybe we'll put in, I still have, like I said, more minari and stuff like that too. So normally I would do, let me grab a tablespoon. First thing I'm going to do is grab a couple tablespoons of my Gimjang, or soup soy sauce. Again, like I said, I don't know if you need this at all, but it's, again, another raw soy sauce ferment that comes from Korean soy paste. So it feels like right at home here. It is similar in a way because it is pretty funky to the fish sauce. So that's why I put a little bit of it in. I normally put, how much do I put in there? Or maybe I don't have it written down. I put in like, oh, here we go, 2 tablespoons per head of cabbage. So I'm going to put a couple, maybe like 4. I might have to update my recipe if my cabbages are always going to be this big. But whatever. So we've got that. Generally put quite a bit of fish sauce, a fourth of a cup. So you know what? I'm just going to wing this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about a fourth of a cup, and we'll just put a whole bunch more. We will taste this, of course, to see if we like it before we put this all together. I have some oyster sauce here. Oyster sauce. This one particular reason why I think I like kimchi so much is not just, it's not just a cabbage ferment, but it has so much, glutamate sources, right? It's amino flavors, super umami rich, which is one thing that sets this apart from a lot of other vegetable ferments. They know what's going on, let me tell you. I'm going to just dump a whole bunch of sesame seeds in here. And then, last but certainly not least, the gochugaru, red pepper flakes. Now, if you're unfamiliar with gochugaru, what are... Nick is telling me to chug something. The fish sauce, I mean, it's good stuff, but I wouldn't chug it. It would be just as salty, if not more, than the cabbage juice over there. But anyways, if you're not familiar with gochugaru, this, you cannot just sub like cayenne pepper for gochugaru. If you have to, put a heck of a lot less, especially if it's powder, right? If it's cayenne powder, these are flakes, right? These are pepper flakes, not powder. So that's kind of an important part of this. And you get them in like big, fairly big bags at the Korean market. But yeah, you can't just generally just sub another pepper in. They are milder generally than jalapenos even. But they're so, they have such a red, deep red color that you can use a lot more of it. That's why Korean food has a what do you call it? Reputation. There's the word. It has a reputation for being spicy because they use a lot of these to give it color and also as a preservative. So I generally use about a half a cup per head. And again, I'm just going to wing it here. So my hand can hold about half a cup or so. And we're going to put a bit more. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Alright, now I gotta mix it, of course. Before I do that, because I'm going to put gloves on. I'm going to eat a bit more of this kimchi. All I have are these little gloves. Probably still going to get all over my arms, but we'll find out. Oh, what's the time? Oh man, we got like 10 minutes left. Jeez. Okay, one thing I forgot is the pot, the onki. So I'm going to run and grab that. And I'm going to do it really quickly, so wait right there, watch this, make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, here we go. We've got yongi. I love this thing. I have two of them. I have very specifically labeled it the kimchi pot so that I don't accidentally make like a rice wine in here. I don't really want spicy rice wine. If that's your thing, go for it. But I am going to grab some soju. Preferably the more potent stuff, 24%. And I'm just going to splash this around in there to just help kind of sort of clean, sterilize it. This has already been probably sterilized and cleaned from the last time I used it, but we're going to do it again. We're also going to use that same stuff to just wipe the anything remaining up here so that there's no places for mold and stuff to grow. I am just rotating this around and getting it all kind of covered in that soju. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm actually going to move this cutting board. Okay, and we're going to try to mix this. Whew, alright, let's see how we do. I'm very likely not going to, well, I mean, I can go a little bit. I mean, it's not like I can't, not like I have to stop immediately at 2 p.m. my time here, which is 10 minutes away, but I don't really want to take up too much more time. Looking pretty good, but I would like some more of the paste. So I'm going to attempt to, oh god, I'm getting it everywhere. Always, every time. Dump a little bit more of this in there. There we go. Still a little bit warm. That's more like it. Alright, but at least we can kind of quickly go over the most important final step if you're doing the traditional style kimchi. Ferment with quartered cabbage and what that looks like. So let us begin. Oh wait, I wish I could turn this a little bit, but I can't because this, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. Valerie is saying, I was having trouble finding it when I ran out this year, but finally scored at the third Asian market I went to. All the shelves had empty spots. Let me know what you were referring to, if you were talking about the ongi, because we were recently talking about the, you finding some of these pots. I think that's what you're referring to. Apologies for the delay, and sometimes I don't notice the message. Alright, so here we go. We have this, I'm going to squeeze it out as much as I can now, but most of it, I've already squeezed it once, and most of that juice has come out. Sorry, you can't see this on the camera. Okay, so now we have this lovely kind of wilted salted cabbage. We're going to lay this in here, basically, and kind of open one leaf at a time. Take a big chunk of this paste and just rub it in there and leave some behind and just keep on going. Hi, have you come to join the
I've come to help
Gimjang?
you with your camera problem.
Oh, I was just going to turn it slightly that way.
This way? The whole thing?
Yeah, just a little.
Okay.
Thanks.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. So I was just looking mostly at my at me. Okay, so just the most important thing is getting it in between all the leaves. And let that excess salt in the cabbage be pretty much, I mean, we didn't add any extra salt, right? That was just whatever we got in the cabbage. All right, so there we go. So then we have this big, messy piece of cabbage. We're going to take this more, thinner part and just kind of fold it back over to make this little package here. And that's the gist of it, really, right? And now I'm going to tuck this in kind of this way, maybe, so that it's the tucked over part is kind of underneath. I don't think it matters too much, but that's my plan here. Is we're going to take this and into the kimchi pot and nestle it right down in there and on to the next one. So there we go. How much of this can I do in 5 minutes? Oh, Valerie's talking about pepper. Oh, the gochugaru, right. The pepper flakes. But yes, also congratulations on your recent recent purchase of the of an ongi. I'm still looking for some that are like a much tinier size than this. I don't really know if they have specific like measurement sizes. They probably do, but I don't think it's going to be like imperial units or even what do you call it, like liters or anything like that. But I'd like one that can hold like, I don't know, maybe not even like a liter would be nice, just a small one, or maybe a liter, like, because I have that Gimjang, right, that soy sauce that's in a liter mason jar, but I'd love to put that in a little ongi and let it continue to do its thing. But whatever, it's alright. I'll find one eventually, one day. So there we go. I'm going to do all of these like this and hope. Ooh, these are big. Hope that they all fit in here. I might have to do 2 ongis this year. I like to also alternate how I lay these in there. Again, don't think it matters that much, but I kind of piece them together. So that they kind of, yin-yang kind of fit together. Oh boy, that is already up to here-ish. So I might be able to do a couple more pieces in here and have to go grab the other pot. So now both of the pots are going to be kimchi pots. That's alright. Give this a nice press down as well. And there we go. I'm going to take these gloves off so we can get a look inside of here, and then I'm going to sign off because I have had a lovely afternoon hanging out with y'all. So wait, maybe I should do the spiel when you can see my face. Hang on. Okay. There we go. Got some on my finger. All right. Is it, can I, no, oh my gosh, I have it on my arms, it's everywhere. All right, while I clean this mess up, thank you all for joining me today on the very first Crock of Time YouTube live stream. I really want to try to figure out if I can do this more regularly. I'd love to have a presence in some way on YouTube. I tried many a year ago, maybe it's been over a year, to start a YouTube channel, and I have just found that I don't have enough time to do the kind of work that I'm doing right now with the blog and just writing stuff, and then also do videos on top of it and live stream. So I have to pick and choose, but I think at least for now I'm going to try to focus on the live streams. So I hope you will join me again and tell your friends and find other people that don't know. They might be interested in fermenting, maybe not, or maybe they want to see how kimchi is actually made, and for better or worse, maybe they want to see it done by somebody who looks like them. Let's be honest, right? But we do have to acknowledge where this comes from, and respect it for the cultural institution that is kimchi, and not forget that, and not whitewash it, and not try to turn it into some mystical health food or anything like that. It's delicious, it's nutritious, it has a lot of history, maybe not all of it good either, but it's an important food for a lot of people, and it can be important for you too, if maybe you like it, and maybe you grow this kind of stuff, or maybe you grow stuff that's similar and you want to make something with this method that isn't necessarily these ingredients. Nobody's going to stop you. Only you can decide what you want to make at home. You have the right to do that. So I plan on doing more traditional ferments like this, to try to respect all of the traditional ingredients and methods as I possibly can. If you have ideas for what that next thing might be, let me know. I don't know what the schedule is going to be like. Maybe monthly. I don't think I can do weekly at this point, but maybe someday. I would have a lot of fermented food if I was doing stuff weekly. It's not necessarily the case. I tend to ferment things when I need to ferment things, kind of like Valerie mentioned, when she has things at home she needs to preserve, whether she grew them, or maybe you've bought stuff at the store and you have excess, yada yada, that kind of stuff. So anyways, enough prattling on. Thanks a lot for joining me. Happy Gimjang, I guess, and I'll see you next time. Oh, and don't forget, if you are not a member of the Discord, it's a free Discord. You can get to it at crockoftime.com/Discord, or find me on various social medias and get in contact. This isn't about me. I'm trying to build a community of people doing this kind of stuff at home. So come join us. Tell us what you're fermenting. Ask questions, and we'll see you there. Thanks. End stream.